Welcome to this masterclass training series on how to attract your ideal client. This is probably one of the most important aspects of your business and what you really want to be crystal clear on before you move forward. It's one of the most fundamental aspects of your marketing, product development, and business plan. The importance of you knowing who your ideal client is can make or break the success of your business. Without this knowledge, you won't know how to write your content in a way that's attractive to your clients, and you won't be able to tailor your products or services to their unique needs. Now let's dig in. My name is Shawn Thompson. I'm a spiritual counselor and psychic medium, owner of Inner Healing. I've been in my spiritual business for over 21 years and I absolutely love what I do. I'm excited today to share some of my insights in the value and the importance of making sure you know who your ideal client is and how to attract them so that they fall in love with you every time. When we take a look at the 5 steps to attract your ideal client, there are really 10 steps altogether, but I've broken them down into 5 steps under a spiritual category and 5 steps under an action-oriented category. Now we're going to dive deep into each one of these, but I wanted to give you an overview and really emphasize that there is a difference between the two. When you're spiritually attracting your client, you are tuning in to your vibration and aligning it with their vibration and really asking the universe to step up and deliver. When you're working with the action-oriented steps in attracting your ideal client, these are the things that you can actually implement on a day-to-day basis, track, analyze, and see your progress based on how full your schedule is, the amount of money you're making each month. There are 5 of them that I want to go over. The first one is being able to get clear on who you want to work with and who you don't want to work with. You don't want to just take everybody that comes along because that can be completely exhausting and unfulfilling. We're going to learn how to visualize your ideal client in detail. This is one of the most important spiritual steps that you can take in attracting your ideal client. We're also going to go over the importance of meditating and calling them into your bubble. This is a practice that you want to do regularly and with high vibration. I want you also to understand the importance of imagining your ideal client booking a session with you or buying your program and paying in full. Of course, you might offer options for payments, but imagining them booking and paying in full is what's really going to motivate you and validate all of the work that you're doing in the marketing genre of attracting your clients and leading to a successful business. And lastly, we're going to touch on visualizing your schedule full of appointments. And so this is going to be real important as you build your business and as you identify the clients who you want to work with, make offers, and market your product or services. Let's dive a little deeper into the first one. Getting clear on who you want to work with and who you don't. So I want you to focus on being clear on who you're helping and what you are helping them with. Identify the specific problem or area of concern that your ideal clients need help with. You can have more than one area as long as it's, in the same field, but you really want to establish yourself as an expert in that field. Secondly, identify character traits that resonate with you. Be specific, such as introverts versus extroverts, personality types. Even consider the astrological compatibility. I think this is an important factor because even though you might not be compatible with everybody, It's really helpful if you know the strengths and the weaknesses or what you might be up against if your ideal client presents something or throws you off or is different than what you expected as you get into working with them. It could be something that could save the relationship or even take the relationship to the next level. So all of these play a key role in relating with your client and their ability to receive your help, which is the most important thing of all. I want you to also think about the key demographics of the people who you're trying to help, including their gender, age, their interests and hobbies, occupation, location, and relevant behaviors, such as where they may shop, how much they are willing to pay for your service, the average income, or even level of education. Because if you have a master's degree in a certain area, trying to bring a client who maybe didn't even get their GED up to the level of understanding of what you're teaching may be a little bit more of a challenge that you don't want to take on, or maybe you're up for it and you're open to that. But just understanding who your ideal client is and how compatible, how relatable, how much of a deep connection you can make with them is really valuable. So what I would like you to do is we're going to do a little activity. I want you to grab a piece of paper and a pencil. On one side of the paper, I want you to put down traits that you do want or that do exist in your ideal client. And on the other side of the paper, draw a line in the middle. On the other side of the paper, I want you to write down traits of clients that you don't choose to work with. And what you're going to do is get very specific. So if you only like working with women, that's a trait that you would find in your ideal client. A trait that you might not want is working with someone who doesn't have an educational level to understand the topic that you're discussing. So I want you to write down at least 10 traits on each side so that you can get crystal clear. And when you're done with that, I want you to fold your paper in half, because we're going to use the traits of your ideal client that you do want in a meditation exercise later in this video. It's going to be valuable for you. And again, I want you to allow yourself to be very picky about who you envision as your ideal client. There are enough people in the world to choose from, so don't feel like you cannot be selective. We all have a tribe that we resonate with, and so the goal is to find your tribe. And the only way that you're going to do that is to know who you absolutely want to work with and who you don't want to work with. So take a break, pause the video, do this exercise on this piece of paper, and really think about the traits that your ideal client will have and those that you do not want them to have. Okay, so let's take a look at the second step, the second spiritual step in attracting your ideal client. Let's take a little bit deeper dive into this in detail. Now, the key here is learning how to feel them into existence. So after you've written down the traits of your ideal client, you fold the paper in half so that you only see the positive characteristics that represent your ideal client. Secondly, read them through and then close your eyes. So really visualize the words you have written down of the traits that you do want to see in your ideal client. Now, visualize a perfect example of your ideal client. So you should be closing your eyes and visualizing the traits as you listen to my voice. Have a conversation with them in your mind. Pay attention to their mannerisms, the way they dress, their mood, how they talk, their facial features, and even how they interact with you. So you're basically visualizing your relationship with them, your conversation, and your interaction, and what that would feel like. Now, it's important for you to imagine them right in front of you. They're asking you for help and they're wanting to work with you. What does that feel like to you? Feel the feeling this invokes in you and within your energy system, in your mind, in your heart, in every cell in your body, when they ask you how to schedule an appointment with you, and they say, I would like to work with you, I want you to really tune into that feeling, invoke that power of what that's like for you. Then I want you to see your day planner opened to the day and time that you have available to schedule with them. Take a moment to find that perfect day and time. And I want you to write their name in your planner and confirm the appointment. Now take a minute and replicate that scenario multiple times. Good. Now let's move on to the third way that you can spiritually take charge of attracting your ideal client. This is going to be a powerful step in the process. Meditating and calling your ideal client in is more powerful than you believe. And you really want to discipline yourself to do this every day. And you can choose whether you do it in the morning or the evening. If you want to do both, that's even better. But you want to take about 10 to 15 minutes a day and sit in meditation. What you're going to do is you're going to energetically reach out to your ideal clients through thought, intention, and your inner voice. You want to know and feel that they are headed your way. It's kind of like if you go to a restaurant and you need to place an order for what you would like to eat. You look at the menu, you pick your choosing, you share it with the waitress. She puts your order in and you sit and have chips and queso and margaritas while the cook is cooking your meal. You don't worry about how he's cooking it, when it's going to be ready. You just know that it's being worked on. So when you place your intention for your ideal client to show up for you to the universe, you know that it's going to work right off the bat, and that you just sit back and let the universe do its magic and bring them to you. Now, this leads us into the fourth spiritual step that you can do in attracting your ideal client. You're going to want to see your ideal client booking and paying in full. I want you to visualize your booking system, whether it's your day planner, whether it is Calendly or Acuity, something like that. And I want you to imagine all the correct information going into that day planner. Then I want you to imagine, after they've booked the session, how your client's going to pay. If they're going to charge it on their credit or debit card, if you're receiving cash, Venmo, PayPal. I want you to visualize how much the session or program costs that you're offering to them and that they signed up for, and visualize the number of the dollar amount of what they're paying for that session or program. Add it up in your mind and get that total right there front and center in your mind. After they have booked and you have received their payment, I want you to take a really close look at your day planner in general, as a whole. I want you to visualize names placed on every day, with the exception of the days that you're not booking clients. And I want you to think about how many clients you want booked on your schedule on that day. So if you want 3 clients, if you want 4 clients, I want you to visually imagine the number of clients, their names, what service or product they purchased, the time that you have scheduled with them, and an indicator that they have paid in full. So let's just say you're open for business Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You're looking at your day planner and you're seeing 3 to 4 clients on each of those days. When I first started out, I actually got a day planner and I would write names on those days as if they were real clients and use that as a basis. And man, let me tell you, it packed my schedule fairly quickly. So this activity definitely works. Those are the 5 spiritual steps that you can take in attracting your ideal client. Now I want to look at the 5 action steps that you can take to attract that client as well. These are going to be important because they're going to really balance and offset your spiritual component and strategies with actual, visible, sustainable ways to track your progress. The first one is make sure your offerings meet the needs of your ideal clients. This is important. You don't want to be offering things that your clients don't need, because if you do that, you're not going to have very many sessions. I can promise you that. Secondly, know your worth. This is so important when you are attracting your ideal clients, because you want to be able to speak with confidence and assurance and to reassure them that you're an expert in your field. Third is start marketing your business where your ideal clients are, and we'll take a look at suggestions of where you can start. 4, put out quality, valuable content for free. Yes, I said for free, and we'll dive a little deeper into that and the reasoning behind that. And 5th, give them the best possible experience. And this is from when they first hear one of your podcasts or videos down to when they're working with you and when you're bringing closure to the relationship. Let's take a look at these closer. Making the right offer. Make sure your offerings meet the needs of your ideal clients. This is so important in the grand scheme of things. Do you know what your ideal clients are looking for? Do you know what problems they have? Do you have the products and services to help them resolve these problems? This is going to really increase your ability to help the most people in the biggest way in your business. So for example, I'm a spiritual counselor and psychic medium. I offer individual healing sessions for those who are grieving the loss of a loved one, also individual spiritual counseling sessions for soul development. I also offer classes to teach people how to communicate with the deceased in the spirit realm so that they can be their own voice in connecting with their loved ones, or perhaps they want to develop their mediumship skills for their own business. I also offer transformational programs to help heal the heart and the mind after loss. I have a level of offerings that are all somewhat under the same umbrella, which is spiritual counseling and psychic mediumship, anywhere from individual one-off sessions to transformational programs. The second action step that I think is really valuable is knowing your own worth and your value. It's about when you decide to put your product and service out there, knowing and really valuing what you bring to the table, because your ideal client is going to want your authentic, unique self, and that's all that's going to matter to them, because when you are functioning at not only the financial value of who you are, but that mental and emotional and just the value of knowing your worth on earth and what you've come here to learn, your ideal client is going to fall in love with that part of you. And that's where the true transformation happens. If you are doing what you know you came here to do, and you're honoring your journey and their journey, they are going to absolutely feel that value and worth coming from you, and it's going to transform them to step into their own authentic self and transform their own life as well. So if you don't value your knowledge and experience, how do you expect someone else to? An important step in attracting your ideal client and making them fall in love with you is to feel completely confident in the value you give to your clients. So think about creating a bio, highlighting your experience and the depth of your knowledge that sets you apart from the rest. Now, I'm not saying that you have to have a ton of certifications or masters or a PhD, but you do need to have life experience based on what your niche is and what you're trying to help people with. Let's just say you were a survivor of cancer. So you want to tell your story about how you survived cancer. You certainly don't have to get an academic master's, in disease or anything to that nature, but you got a life master in having cancer and surviving cancer that has a lot of value to give to your ideal client. So think about that bio and highlight your expertise in the area of your niche. Show your clients you're confident and real in all that you do. When you do a video, when you write content, interviews, sessions, consults, speaking engagements, you really want to speak from your heart. You want to be authentic and real so that they can connect with you on a very deep level. That's where transformation, that's where it all happens, and that's how you're going to get great referrals as well. Be your authentic self and your confidence will shine through. It's a very natural, effortless experience to share with others and encourage them to do the same. So let's move on to the third action step in attracting your ideal client. This is all about marketing your business where your clients are. A lot of you will really feel apprehensive about putting yourself out there and being visible. But that's one of the most important things you can do, is to just put yourself out there. You don't have to worry about having a perfect plan or a brand right now. Just put your best content in front of your ideal clients. And so you'll have to sit and brainstorm think about when you were where your ideal clients are 3 to 5 years ago. What kind of places were you visiting? What kind of meetups and groups did you join? What were you looking for in the specific area that you were struggling with? Where did you go to find information and help? Because really and truly, your ideal client is basically you 3 to 5 years ago. So you have been through something, you've mastered it, you've come out on the other side, and you're here to share that with them. Think about where you went and what you did to help yourself. And that's where you're going to find some of your best clients. Marketing isn't something that quickly just grows overnight. You have to put a lot of sweat equity, sometimes money into it. There are organic forms of marketing and then paid ads that you can dive into. But nurturing and growing your audience takes time, and it is a priority. By taking that first step and putting yourself out there, whether it be a video, on Instagram or Facebook, whether it be on your timeline or your storyline, a blog post that's filled with a lot of great value and yummy content, you're taking those first steps to be visible, and you're willing to put yourself out there. That's where you're going to find some of your best and ideal clients. So I want you to also think about, too, seeking out meetup groups, Facebook groups, and any other place that you know your ideal client would hang out or visit and show up there. Either you can think about distributing flyers, business cards, or just simply introducing yourself and what you do to start that relationship. Just basically making yourself visible. Let's move on to the fourth. Put out quality content for free. There is so much discussion around this topic, and we're going to go into the 2 fears of why people don't do this. But quality and valuable content will set you apart from the rest and define you as an expert in the field, which is what you want. Sharing with others will have them wanting more from you instantly. But then you think, why don't people want to do this? Well, I'm going to tell you why. There are 2 fears that people have. The first one is that they worry about giving all of this free information out, and they're going to just kind of move themselves out of business because their audience will just do things themselves. Well, I can tell you now that is not the case. Yes, there will always be a proportion of your audience that is that do-it-yourself, but there will be those out there, specifically your ideal clients, that will read and watch this valuable content that you have to share and decide that you are the expert for them and hire you to do the job. There's always going to be those people who try to do it themselves and spend thousands of dollars on products and services and don't get anywhere because they haven't hired the expert or even a mentor to help them, and they just want to learn it or try to learn it themselves at first, but then they come to realize they really need a great guide to help them move through it. Now, the second fear of why people don't want to give quality content out for free, the second reason is they worry that their competitors will copy their content and replicate it for themselves. And again, yes, there may be some business owners that are too lazy to think for themselves and will just copy an article that they found online, but they'll never do as well because they're not you. The whole point in building a personal brand is so that people buy from you. By simply copying what somebody else is doing, they are not using their own unique voice. Don't worry about this. There's even enough clientele to go around, and what's really going to be important is that your ideal client resonates with you. So you can have 5 people saying the exact same thing, written word for word, verbatim, and you put one client in front of them. That one client is going to resonate specifically with a certain mentor, and that's who they're going to choose. Yes, copy is important. Yes, people can steal it. Yes, you can worry about them doing it on their own and messing things up or even being successful. But there is enough interest, there's enough need for what you offer, and there's enough integrity out there that the universe is going to help you be successful, deliver what you need, and enough to go around for everybody. Trust that. Let's look at the 5th action step. Give them the best possible experience every step of the way. Client experience is a key element in building a successful personal brand and your reputation. This doesn't mean from the moment that they're your client, but from the very moment that they come into contact with you. So that first picture or video or content they see on the website or Facebook or in a video feed or an ad, that moment starts to build that relationship. And one of the most important moments that I want you to consider is your responses to comments in the Facebook feed, and making sure that you are always presenting your authentic self, being professional, compassionate, and loving, because there will be people that read every single comment that you make on a good day and a bad day, and you want to be fairly consistent with who you are. And the second one is think about all the touch points that your audience may have with your brand and how you can enhance their experience to make it as seamless as possible, from the first contact with you to the consultation to booking, payment, one-on-one, and maintaining a future relationship. There is a phase of experience that they have with you, and every single one of those phases are important and they matter. So make sure you pay attention to every step of the way. That brings us to a conclusion of this video masterclass series of how to attract your ideal client. I want to thank you for attending this training. And if you'd like to work with me personally, or you are interested in one of my programs, you can schedule a free consultation anytime by using this link below. I also want you to be looking for that next training in the Masterclass series. It'll be delivered to your inbox soon. You want to make sure you check your spam so that you don't miss out on all the valuable information. I am really hoping and sending you good vibes to success in your business, whether you have started it, whether you are expanding it, or whether you are transforming it. If I can help you in any capacity, I look forward to it. I'll see you in the next training series.